So actually, state pension is a benefit, not an entitlement. I started a video a few weeks ago with this fact, and the comments section ran away with people saying I was wrong and it was actually an entitlement. But for the record, it is a benefit. I'm not here to argue that, because it's a fact, and basically you can check it. Lots of sources. You can ring HMRC or check on the HMRC website to find that out. But what I am here to talk about is why that's important and what options it might give future governments in choosing how they administer this benefit, and who will and who won't get it when they retire. So this really started to bother me a couple of years ago when I listened to Jeremy Hunt repeatedly refer to state pension benefit. Although I knew it was a benefit because I've worked in benefits quite a lot of my working career. Before this talk, most politicians actually referred to it as just the state pension, not the state pension benefit. And this change in language was deliberate, and it sparked a conversation, a change in the political conversation. I love reading people's comments about that they leave in my videos, so please do comment. But if you're tempted just to say it's not a benefit, then it'd be great if you could check a couple of the official sources, because it is really. Okay, I'll move on. Point made. I think some of the anger that comes from calling state pension a benefit is because we don't use its full title. It's actually a contributory benefit. So contributory benefits are benefits in the UK social security system that are dependent on the payment of national insurance contributions, or NICs. Primarily intended to support people who've lost their earnings for specific reasons, such as being sick or unemployed. And they're not usually affected generally by savings or income. So I'll give you a few examples of contributory pensions. So these include job seekers allowance. Now, many of you listen to this channel know that my wife, Tracy, is potentially going to be made redundant soon. She's been paying national insurance recently, so she will actually get job seekers allowance. If she hadn't, I've been paying NI over the last few years, then she wouldn't have been entitled to job seekers allowance. So she's entitled to it because she's paid NI. Otherwise, she wouldn't get it. The other one is employment support allowance, what we used to call disability benefit. And this is a contributory benefit, again, for people of working age, and it aims to support them whose ability to work is affected by their health condition or maybe a disability. And to be eligible, they must have paid national insurance contributions in relevant years. They also have an eligibility assessment around whether your level of disability and that kind of thing. And another one is what we used to call widow's pension, which is actually called bereavement benefits now. And again, if your partner who passed away was paying national insurance contributions for, say, 25 weeks in a single year since 1975, then you'd get what we used to call widow's pension, or now called bereavement benefit. And the big one, obviously, is state pension benefits. This is the most significant contributory benefits in the UK, and it accounts for £100 billion of expenditure each year. It's worth picking up a little bit on the history of NI. I will be brief. So let's go back to 1911, and William Martin Smith was issued with the first ever NI number, A1. The chosen way that they recorded your contributions then was they give you a book of stamps, and they would attach it to a card, your employer would, and then when you left their employment, this would be your proof of entitlement to benefits. And therefore, we often used to say that when you left an employer, you were given your cards, because these were the cards with your stamps on. Even though the cards no longer exist. And it's also, I still say it myself, I'm a bit old-fashioned, I say that I paid my stamp. Okay, so where does all this national insurance money that we pay every month go to? Well, it goes into the National Insurance Fund, and these are used to pay for certain types of welfare expenditure. National insurance, they can't be used directly to fund general government, so they can't be used for funding the army, for example. They are kind of set aside, but actually the excess is lent to government at very low interest rates. So in fact, it kind of does prop up the government in a way. So the money that is paid in specifically is allocated to, we all know the NHS is the big one. So the money being paid in by pensioners in 2024 has been collected from people working and paying NI in 2024. There's no kind of big savings plan where all the contributions are held until you retire. It's put into a big pot, used for the NHS, used for welfare benefits, used for contributory benefits, a lot the type we just talked. But now we've got a bigger proportion of people who are actually retired in compared to the people who are in the working population. It's really difficult for the government to find the money to kind of pay all the benefits out. And this is why Sir Edward Troup, who was a former executive for HM Revenue, wrote a report in recent months, which he submitted to the government, which basically says that they should consider means testing state benefits. So if you're currently earning a private pension of, say, £25,000, and when you retire, when you get to 67, that you want your state retirement pension to top that up, so it'll become £36,500. Then this shouldn't worry you. This paper that's been written by this Troup guy for the government is not aimed at you at all. So if you're earning kind of a medium pension of about £25,000 plus your state pension as an individual, this won't worry you. This won't bother you. So just don't worry. However, say you're getting £50,000 company pension per year on your own, and you're then looking to make that up to 61,500 by adding the state pension on when you get to 67. This could impact you if the government listened to what Sir Edward Troup has written. I'm not saying he will, it's not definite, but if he does. But I think the important thing to remember is if you are on a smaller private pension, say £25,000 per year, and that's going to go up to 36 when you get your state retirement pension, this won't impact you. There's nothing in the press which is saying you or anyone that's earning less than you, for example, would be at all impacted by what this paper says. It's really for people who are earning, significant amounts. So as a couple, you could be earning £60,000 private pensions between you, and still get your full state pensions under what's been written. It's only when you start getting into much higher levels of private pension that the recommendation in this report actually kick in. So I hope that kind of clarifies for some people who were concerned that this kind of means testing of state pension was going to impact them, because unless you're earning a significant private pension, there's likelihood as it won't. Anyway, so thanks for listening, and if I hear any more on this news story, I will obviously come back onto the channel and let you know, but otherwise I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.